Anyone who's studied aircraft accidents knows that it's never a single cause. It's always several things coming together. In the case of Amelia, maybe one of the most significant factors that led to the disappearance of Amelia is that they left behind their trailing antenna when they left Lae, New Guinea.
Amelia couldn't hear the Itasca, although the Itasca could clearly hear Amelia. And the end game was that after approximately an hour of searching, there was no more radio transmissions from the aircraft.
Our program, the USC Aviation Safety and Security Program, was started in 1952, only 15 years after Amelia Earhart was lost. When they find the wreckage, if they find the wreckage, they'll look at the same things as we look at here in our accident investigation class. The reason we look and investigate an aircraft accident is to basically prevent a similar accident from happening in the future. As we get better at this science, we investigate accidents less and investigate incidents more. And an incident is something with less grievous consequences. When Amelia was learning to fly, and throughout her whole career, it was not unusual for a mechanical failure to occur. Those kind of things are much rarer now. But what hasn't changed is the person behind the aircraft. You cannot engineer out human factors. The human factors of fear, of fatigue, of losing night vision after hours of wakefulness. And so that's where we're striving to make our advances now. And as we go and learn more about this, we create systems, safety management systems, to capture the data, and so that no longer do we have to wait for an incident, but we have data to analyze to tell us where the weaknesses are before they even get to the incident stage. If I were to get on an airplane every day, once a day, and take a flight in the United States, it would take me over 4,000 years to be involved in an accident in which there was a single fatality, not necessarily my fatality. So it's a high level of safety has been achieved. None of those things were available to Amelia Earhart.
The folks at the Waite Foundation in La Jolla, led by Ted Waite, contacted USC for some assistance in their initiative to conduct a search for Amelia Earhart's plane. I met with the Waite Foundation people and was brought on as an investigator to help them with their project. Initially, the preparation was to examine the life and times of Amelia Earhart, to research all the publications that were ever written or published about her. They mapped the entire bottom of the ocean west of Howland Island, and we searched a grid that was roughly the size of New Jersey. So that was a big contribution because that's never been done before.
Amelia makes the point that when she was learning to fly, there were no pilot's licenses. And there was very little standardization. You learned to fly from someone who knew how to fly. For long transoceanic flights, you would always carry a navigator because someone needed to be taking a shot from a sextant, just like a navigator in a ship. In fact, these people were often navigators from ships who had transferred over to aviation. So you would navigate by using cross-references to stars or to the sun during the day because the stars weren't visible. If you can get it within 15 miles, that's terrific. In today's world, using the GPS satellites, you can get it down within, I think, 120 inches.
One has to ask after arrival at Howland Island with approximately 2 hours of fuel, or perhaps 3, and one has to wonder why the radio transmission stopped so abruptly and only after 1 hour. Perhaps they'd been up over 20 hours at that point, awake. Fatigue levels were high. They were maneuvering at low altitude. They were trying to search for an island visually out the window. Howland Island measures about a mile by a half a mile and a very little vertical development at all. She likely descended a little early, but that early descent probably resulted in them arriving down at 1,000 feet altitude, probably 30 miles west of the island. It's very possible that they flew into the water just not recognizing where they were. Very common to have happen. It's something that Navy pilots guard against at all times because being low to the water is very disorienting. You can't judge your distance very well. The one thing that's the most important is that no one's found her yet. And so the mystery remains.
It is still a legend, which goes to, it's like the value of art or like an important movie. You can watch it time and time again. So I think that the value of Amelia as a symbol of striving, of adventure, of vision, it endures. So whatever caused her accident, it doesn't diminish that. And so, the fact that it still is a legend and that people are still interested is a testament to her, and I think that's an important point to make.